Hello and welcome to a very noisy RAF Lossiemouth. As you can hear, it seems that I think there are a couple of typhoons doing some aerobatics, but because I don't have the typhoon, I am treated to the wonderful sight of two Airbuses doing aerobatics, which is not pretty at all. Anyway, slightly unusual doing a stream at this time on a Monday. It's Monday. Mondays always need, it's like exercising a evil spirit. It's like this is somehow exercising the evil spirit of Monday. That's the way I'm seeing it anyway. Plus also, if I'm completely honest, I did a very silly thing. I went to reinstall Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 post update 5 because I was having a few issues, and a couple of people had said in the streams, "Oh, that's the kind of classic post SU5 update stuttering that you're seeing." So I thought, to hell with it. You know, I'm going to reinstall Flight Simulator 2024. I moved my community folder to a safe location. What a good boy! And I reinstalled everything, and set my custom community folder location, and then closed down the sim, and then moved my community folder over, and then nuked it and lost everything, because I should have waited until everything had bedded in, and when you restart it, having moved it, it comes up and finishes the process. Anyway, I nuked my community folder, so I've literally had to rebuild everything again. So this is the first flight with all my HEMS add-ons and everything loaded back in, and hopefully this will work. Positive thinking, guys. Positive thinking. Anyway, hello to everyone in the chat. Good to see some very familiar names. Good to see you. Exactly, Battersby. And high resolutions. You obviously are in the Discord. So this is a good time to say we do have a Discord. I am going to... Streamlabs will do it for me while I'm flying, but I'm just going to pop that in there for the link if you want to come along. Another important thing to say, by the way, if you are a helicopter pilot and you enjoy, you kind of enjoy a bit of a group flight, you are more than welcome to join me. We're at EGQS RAF Lossiemouth, and I have no idea where we're going to end up. I'll talk a bit more about that in a second, but you're more than welcome to come along, and you won't be able to see the mission assets, but you'll have a mystery tour. What more can I say? Anyway, so what are we using here? What are we using? We are using the High Performance Group H145. We're using the High Performance Group H145 Action Pack Expansion, which is what enables us to fly the missions, or gives us the capability to fly the missions. Can you hear me, by the way? Because those jets are noisy. Those jets are noisy. We are then using the fantastic Davierosoft Random and Anywhere. That's what it's called on flightsim.to. It's called Random and Everywhere in other places, but we're using that, and that is an incredibly clever free mod. I just can't describe how clever it is. And if you know this, if you know the mod, if you've watched the channel before, you know what it's about. But it enables us to enter this new world of simulated HEMS missions. We can fly random missions, which is what we're going to do now, or you can customize different features. There's just so many things you can do. It's a free mod. It's on flightsim.to. Andrew, who wrote it, is an absolute genius. Yeah, I absolute hat off to him. So we're using that. We're using the Kekker's voice pack with radio, which gives us more realistic radio voices. If you've never heard it before, you're going to hear it. We're using the M. Gonzalez sound pack for the H145, so we've got slightly more realistic sounds for our H145, and we're using this fantastic repaint of X-Ray Zulu 588, which was a squadron 202 squadron Sea King that saw time up here at Lossiemouth. And this, if this works, there it is. That is the real thing. So that's the real X-Ray Zulu 588, which is looked after by Historic Helicopters, and she's still there, she's still flying, and ain't she a beauty? So that's what we are. That's what we're flying, a tribute to there. And I lived up here for a few years in the 80s and used to see the Yellow Sea Kings. Sat in one, although didn't get a chance to fly. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Have I missed anything else? Yes, I have. So, the secret ingredient that we're going to be using tonight, if you have had issues with getting the Random and Anywhere Everywhere mod to work, you're getting that all that red text that's giving you failures, and it's talking about OSMs and that sort of thing. That's because the OSM, the OpenStreetMaps data servers that are generally being used for this mod are getting hammered from all directions for all different reasons. And what that means is that they're not coming back quick enough with the answers to the mod when it's saying, hey, find me where's a road, where's a golf course, where's a mountain, where's a ski lift, and it's taking them too long to come back, and the mod is saying, okay, there's something wrong with you, off you go. So what Keckers, who's the same guy that did the voice pack, has done is he's created a custom OSM server just for us virtual air ambulance pilots to use, and it's on the Random and Anywhere, or the details are on the Random and Everywhere, it's called, Discord. Well worth checking it out. There is a small cost involved. I think it's about €1 a month to have access to it. But for that, you get silky smooth, fast access to that data, which means that your missions run nice and smoothly. And what could possibly be better than that, hey? The other great thing is he's done a lot of work over the weekend. It's now available for the whole world. It was just available for Europe. It's now available for the whole world. And when I checked earlier on, there were some places. The keys are limited purely because he's trying to build it and trying not to overload it. So the keys are limited. But when I had a look earlier on, there were some places still left. So if you're interested, and I would say only do it if you're really into it and you really you're really interested in it, then have a look. Yeah, so at the moment, for example, at this time on 4 minutes past 10 on Monday the 18th of May, there are 91 free slots. So if you're interested, get in there. And as I said, the whole world is now covered. Bloomin' marvellous. Okay. Have you heard about the B105 helicopter coming to... Yes, I have, Keith. Yes, I have heard. Just bought the MH60 bundle with Mission Hub for... It's a big learning curve. Okay. Yeah, I tried that initially when that MH60 Mission Hub first came out, but compared to what this could do, I wasn't incredibly impressed. Although I know it's been updated quite a bit. And as I say, that's compared to what this can do. Is that the sun at Lossiemouth? It's in peeking between the clouds, Muzzy. Peeking between the clouds. What can I say? Fried chicken. Good to see you. Right. Okay. So let's just do a couple of things. I had a thought. A thought entered my head then, and now it's gone. Anyway, if you don't know the area, here's the campaign map. We shall be approaching from the west. Don't get carried away, boy. Just do what you're meant to do and talk about it. So we're here. So this is RAF Lossiemouth up here in the northeast, and this is our base. And this is where we are here is pretty much where the Sea Kings used to operate from. So trying to keep it a little real. And as I say, I don't know what's going to get thrown at us. It could be who knows? Who knows? Yeah. I was going to say something then about how you can customize the missions, but that's for another. We may get another stream in this week, maybe one night, if there's enough interest, where we'll customize it a little bit and actually choose some missions. For example, I love doing the good old kind of old school 202 squadron type search and rescue stuff in the mountains. So you may get that as part of the Random and Anywhere stuff, or you may just say, right, well, I want you to give me a search and rescue mission in this area, and then it will generate it and it will give a random location within that area. So it's Pretty blooming cool, isn't it? Right, anyway, you don't need to see me anymore. Thank God for that. It's bad enough hearing myself, let alone seeing myself. Let's see if that's working. There we go. Okay. Right. That's all set up there. That's fantastic. That's all good. Okay, so first thing we need to do is go into map submissions, go into there, and we will start random and add everywhere. We do that before we turn the helicopter on. There we go, and just let that start to load up a little bit. So you can see here I'm logged into the Kickers OSM and it's saying that my API key is active. So I know that that's all working. Here's Frank. I'm just going to wind that out a little bit so that we potentially get into the mountains. If I go 40, there we go. That's so good. Happy with all that there. All the single players in the house. There we go. That's all good. So now we can turn the mission radio on. And I'll just get some lights on because we're going to start spinning things around. Frank, where you gone, sunshine? Oh, he's gone off there to get his GPU. Let's turn the radio on. At some point, the chaps should appear. I always gloss over this bit because I'm too busy talking about something. So let's see. Here they come. Here's the lads. I know what they've been doing. They normally come from our hangar, but they've been over with the Typhoon boys, exchanging stories and drinking tea and all that kind of stuff. Amazing. Come on, lads. Get a move on. Look at that. The slow, purposeful walk of the search and rescue crew. Amazing. Right, so
hey, good morning all. Ready for the missions?
There we go. All right, lads. We heard you. Let me just turn the volume on the voices down a little bit.
Good morning, Frank.
Bob, I've no idea, mate.
Hey, Frank. Good morning.
I have got my glass cockpit settings, response settings quite high, so that might be one reason. Okay, so the lads are on board.
Hi, Captain. Helicopter is ready to fly.
Okay,
Logbook filled and signed.
Thank you, Frank.
Fuel tanks are almost full. If you need refueling, please ask.
So all these voices you're hearing are
part of
the Random and Anywhere mod and what Keckers has done. Chinook, good morning, sir. Good morning to New Zealand. Okay, so I've connected the mission radio, which is what we've got down here. This is what connects us to the rescue centre. And we just wait for the call to come in. Now, while I'm doing that, let's just do a quick
audio test.
Check all our annunciators and everything are working. Yep. And then Santa's sleigh.
Fire. Engine 1, fire. Engine 2, fire.
Yep. Love that. Bit of festive fun when it's not festive. So what we're doing now is just waiting for a call to come in. This is kind of simulating sitting in the crew room, mug of tea, slice of toast in hand, waiting for the phone to ring and give us a shout. And that's exactly what it's going to do. The mod simulates time. It simulates the patient condition, so the patient condition can change, and it also simulates time, as in things don't happen instantly. Just to add to a bit of the realism, there are things you can do to speed it up. There is a setting, for example, for this particular moment that we've got now, where we can set it so that it will give us a mission a lot quicker. But I've just left it at the kind of standard issue timing, and we'll see what it comes up with. There we go. We have got a pacemaker malfunction in a bypass patient. Okay. There are so many missions, by the way. So many missions. Different things that you can end up doing. Martin, I'll be honest with you, I used it once when it first came out, and compared to this, it just seemed very limited. I've not used it since, and I know it's had some updates since then, so you know, I haven't used it enough to really give an honest and fair answer, but compared to what the capabilities of this, yeah. I did a search and rescue mission. Oh, hello, interesting. Okay, so we have got a failure. Now, that could well be... I wonder if I set the distance a little bit too far. We've got the right OSM, so I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm going to click Next Dispatch and see what happens. Okay, farmer's been injured when his tractor tipped over. One of the things to say about this mod is that there are so many things going on that it's not unusual to get an error message because you're asking it to take in so many different variables. So I'm not overly worried about what just happened there, but we'll accept that.
Strapping down the equipment. Stand by for confirmation.
Okay, so let's get the co-pilot out to do something useful. So last time we were engine 1 first. This time we'll do 2
Preparing
first.
for engine starting sequence. 2, 1.
By the way, if any of the sounds are too loud, do let me know. You've got a different mix in your ear
Cabin
than I've
checks
got in
finished.
mine.
We're set to go.
So if anything gets too loud, just shout. Okay, let's have a quick check down here. Battery's looking okay. He's now in position, so let's go with engine number 2 start. M1 rising, TOT rising. Oil pressure rising. Thank you for our check-in.
GPU disconnected. Ready to go. Good day.
Which bit is loud, Martin? Is it anything in particular that's loud?
Engine started successfully.
Okay,
Moving to other engine.
good start on engine 2. He's just going to walk over there. On the tab.
Engine clear.
Okay, engine 1 starting. Now, one eye on the VMS page watching the engine, the other eye on the tablet. You can see we've got some more information coming up now. So TOT is rising, M1's rising, and we've got oil pressure rising. Looking at the tablet, at least one injured, waiting for information. Farmer has been injured when his tractor tipped over. There's an ambulance on the way to the accident.
All engines started successfully.
And that ambulance is actually driving to the site. And now we've got a police car, and they will be there. There's a little model ambulance and a little model police car
Performing leak checks.
in the sim. Symptoms submerged. That's never a good sign. The crew. Okay, I can do something about that because I've got a special little test mod. There we go. I'll just turn the crew down a little bit. Okay, he's doing his leak checks. We can now get everything up and running. So prime pumps can come off. Avionics on. Standby battery. DC receptacles.
Okay, all good.
Strobe on. Right, so he's happy with the engines. We're not going to be using the GTNXIs, but we need to get them so they are sort of set up. We'll turn on the
TOS system test OK.
all the autopilot systems, so they're good to go. What have we got here? The only issue we've got here is the engines idle, which is fine because that's where we've got them. Nothing much more to add here. I can now close that, and we can see we've got a white line here, and we've got no distance information here. So we need to go into here. We need to select MSFS as the navigation source rather than GTNXI because we're using the mission for all that. And then let's get you back up. And then I just need to cycle the TDS GTNXI, and again I say it every time, I don't know if you have to do that with the PMS, but certainly with the TDS GTNXI we just have to cycle it. We've got distance information now, and we've got a blue line here. So that's all good. Let's pop over to the map and let's see where we're going. So we're going up the coast. Okay, we're going up the coast this way, Fraserburgh by the looks of it. Yeah. Okay. And that's the tiny little ambulance and police car that are doing their thing. Okay, they're coming from Fraserburgh. We are going here, kind of more inland. I just noticed it's mapped their route. Okay, so anyway, I'll leave that on so the co-pilot's got something to look at because he likes doing that. And we need to get going. So let's get engines to flight. Quick check over here. Cabin ready for takeoff. That's good. The boys in the back are ready to go. Looking down here now, we want our rotating fork to get to 101. And we've got 2 good engines. Yes, Fried, exactly. Transfer pumps is transferring. Okay, let's get there. So, trim release on. Wind is coming from that direction, so I'm going to lift. Wind is 12 knots, so it's not too bad. Lift and then head over that way into wind, and then we can tootle on up the coast. Quick hover check, all good, no warnings, engines are within limits. Now I'd be interested to see.
VTOS.
I lost all my tablet the settings I had on the tablet for the helicopter as well, so interested to see how the handling is. Now as we're going along the coast, we don't need to worry about or too much about actually that's not true, is it really, thinking about it, because we are heading inland a bit. I was going to say we don't need to worry about climbing too high, but we actually do. Let's be safe. Just keeping an eye on the speed. So I'm trying to get a gentle climb in, but also get some speed on, because let's face it, if this poor chap has come off his tractor and he's submerged, he's not going to want to hang around. He's probably hoping that we're going to turn up pretty soon, so we'll have to try and be as quick as we can. And then what I will do is stick it onto autopilot once we get to a reasonable position. You can see the TR in the top left of the tablet. I'm still holding on the trim release because I'm still manually flying it on the cyclic. Milltown down there. Oh, hello. Look at that. Look at that lovely H500. Oh, actually no, that's the OH6A, isn't it? It is, because he's on the right hand side. Okay, so I'm now going to pop us onto autopilot. There we go. Couple. There we go. And we're now going to follow the route, and I'm just keeping an eye on things. If you fly this, you know that the autopilot is notorious for being very sensitive to overtorque. Sorry, that's wrong. The autopilot is notorious for putting you in a position where suddenly the aircraft is overtorquing. You know, you get a gust of wind or something like that, and before you know it, you've got a problem. So I'm just being very gentle with the speed. Okay, happy with that. So let's get the nav on. That's all good. So what are we? 33.4 nautical miles and 23 minutes to the casualty. I'm just adjusting slightly with the anti-torque pedals. Interesting. That is a beautiful sight. How are we doing in the back, lads? All good? Yeah, Doctor with his shades, as usual, looking cool. I think we should have a look from the outside. I think I'm relatively happy it's stable and it's not going to try and kill us. What a beautiful sight. See the Royal Navy in the background there. Queen Elizabeth II aircraft carrier. I feel we should be playing a certain piece of music, and I think you know what I'm talking about. I can hear it. Sorry about that, it's just me testing Streamlabs. I just noticed it's not put the not putting the bits and pieces out. There it is, it's working now. Mac, you do not rickroll the stream, mate. You do not do it. That wasn't the song I had in mind, I have to say. And I think you know that. Right, I've tested that. Let's get back in the cockpit before it kills us. Quickly check everything's still working, which it is, because you never quite know what it's going to do. Marcus, thinking about buying the Pimax Stream Air, Virpil TCS Plus base, Hawk 60 Collective and CDT Air and Max stick. Would you recommend? I'll be completely honest with you, mate. I have got the Valve Index VR, but it's been a long time since I've used it. I don't know much about the Pimax units, although I know a lot of people do kind of recommend them. The Verpal TCS Plus base with the Hawk 60 collective is exactly what I've got, and it is that you see a lot in YouTube videos. You see a lot of kind of "this is a game changer" kind of stuff. For me, honestly, this was a game changer. I've been using one of the throttle levers on my Bravo for collective, and I had really wanted to get hold of the Verpal collective stick, but just hadn't. It's a lot of money, and I thought, do I really want to spend all that amount of money on something I'm going to bolt to my chair and use to fly helicopters? And then I thought, you idiot, of course you are, of course you want to, you love helicopters. So I went out and got it, and I've never looked back. One, because it gives you extra control, and two, because the immersion is fantastic. And if you like the if you like the Taugsanger Huey or the 500, to be able to start those using a starter switch assigned to your Hawk 60 and twist the throttle on your collective, it's a little thing. It's a little thing, but wow, it's gorgeous. It's brilliant. CDT Aeromax stick, I'll be honest with you, I've no idea. Absolutely no idea. I'm not really a hardware guy. I don't do hardware reviews as such, apart from if I buy something and I think it's like with the collective, I bought it and thought, wow, this is really cool, so I made a video on it. But generally I don't do hardware reviews, and I don't get into approaching people for freebies so that I can make reviews. So I'm probably not the person to ask, but the collective is a no-brainer. Absolute. Gray, how are you doing, mate? We're on the Western Europe server. If you're thinking of joining, we are not going to be a million miles from Echo Golf 30 Whitehill, so potentially you could start up there. Okay, quick look down. 17 minutes out. Everything is looking fine there. You enjoy looking at your map, Sunshine? Yeah, he loves looking at the map. How are we doing in the back? Hey, all good? Yes, good. They don't say much, but I know that the thought's there. You know. Marcus, yeah, the Cytec X52, I had that years ago, and I wasn't a massive fan of it, and I ditched it, and I went for the Thrustmaster. Oh God, what was it? I want to say T9000, but I'm thinking of, I think that's a Terminator, isn't it? But it's the one that had it's the HOTAS. Then I think you could separate the HOTAS, you could separate the throttle from the stick. And that was lovely. That was really good. It felt great. And then I kind of moved on from that. But yeah, the X52 I could never get on with. The silence speaks louder than words. Yeah, I think you might be right, mate. I think you might be right. I think the doctor's thinking, why the hell did I spend 10 years at university to end up being flown around by this hooligan? And the co-pilot's just... Well, I think the co-pilot's thinking you should have joined the Navy. I don't know. Yes, you. Right. How are we down here? All good. Suddenly occurred to me I didn't set the QNH. What's the QNH at Lossie? Come on, little nav map, give us the goods. What on earth? Well, that's a strange thing. There we go. Got it in the end. 1006. There we go. Q&H is set. That's all tickety-boo. Everything is marvellous. Why did I spend all those years studying to be an NPC? There's almost something kind of existentialist about that, isn't there? We could probably get into a bit of philosophy. Are we all just NPCs? Are we all just NPCs in someone's game? Ooh, doesn't bear thinking about, does it? Especially on a Monday evening. Batterby, yes. Well, yeah. To be honest, you can't go wrong with the Warthog. Really, that's exactly what I. After the Thrustmaster Dubry, the T whatever it was, I went onto a Warthog setup. The only thing I found with that is that I had the stiction issue. So I went through a couple of bases, and then in the end I got a Verpil Warbird base, but I still fly using my Warthog stick or my Warthog grip, and it's a really nice piece of kit. I love the metal. I love the kind of heavy metal feel for it. It feels quite realistic. Binky, how are you doing? Hope all is good with you. Fried chicken, I think you might be right. I think you might be right. I've kind of reached an age where I do sometimes question what it's all about. But let's not get too heavy. This is meant to be a light-hearted exercising the ghosts Monday night stream. I clearly haven't had enough tea. Right, I'm just gonna poke the speed up a little bit. There's the dreaded red line. That's what I've got to be careful of. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for the time being. Wind is on the nose. It's 21 knots, so it's a little bit. Once the wind gets up to about 30 knots, bearing in mind this helicopter hasn't been updated in a long time, so it works pretty well. Apart from under, if the wind is very strong, it kind of acts in funny ways. It's almost like where it's at now, the coding is broken. If the wind is kind of up, around about 30 knots. It will do weird things. If you've ever found yourself shutting down on the ground but the RPM starts racing and it's in the red, then that's probably because the wind is strong and the coding in this helicopter doesn't know how to react to it, how to deal with it. Good on you, Binky. We shall see you somewhere. We're not too far out, 9 minutes. Let's have a wee look at the map. So you can probably, I wasn't paying any attention to it. Co-pilot probably was because he's like that. But it looks like the ambulance and the police car have actually arrived. You can, like with so many things on this, you can customize things. So if you don't want to see those on the map, if you want it to be a bit more realistic so that you don't see where they are, you can take them off. But I'm doing a bit of testing and I just want to check that everything's working, and that shows that the police and the ambulance have arrived. And if we go on to here we go, ambulance SAS 524 crew arrived close to the accident location, distance is 0.2 kilometers, and police patrol Alpha 14 crew arrived at location. So that's kind of backing up what we're seeing there, that they have arrived, and they don't have the advanced paramedics, so they are kind of limited in what they can do, but that's what we're about. So we are HEMS, we are advanced medical care. We're taking the expertise of the hospital with our doctor and our advanced paramedic to the patient to start work on the patient in the field straight away, get them stable, get them on board the helicopter, fly them back to the hospital, so they've got a much greater chance of survivability. And that's really what it's all about, rather than just flying out there saying, all right, hoik him on board, and then flying him back to the hospital and saying, here you go, don't know what's wrong with him, we just brought him back. So there's a lot more to that. It's all very clever, and as I said, the mod simulates the condition of the patient. The condition of the patient will change. This is not flying to a point on a map and then bing, you've collected the patient, and then flying back to a hospital and then dropping them off and bing, that's the end. This is simulating the condition of the patient throughout what we're doing. So again, you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. It's incredibly clever. How the hell, I mean, Andrea who wrote this, he's Italian, he's a lovely guy, very, very clever. In the real world, he is an Airbus helicopter flying instructor of quite a high standard, I believe, and he wrote this mod. Just mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. And I will always be grateful to him for putting in the work, and also people like Keckers who, for the voice pack and for the for the additional OSM server and all these things that all keep it alive. It makes such a difference. So DLW, how you doing? It's good to see you. It was doing HEMS stuff that got me really into flying helicopters. I bought the H145. It was the first helicopter I got in the sim, and I flew it around doing a bit of civilian stuff and made a couple of videos, and Hype Performance Group noticed them, and they were very kind to give me the action pack expansion to kind of grow the videos on and have a go with it. And then a very helpful chap called I never know how to pronounce it, Amarilon, Ian's Dark Corner. He does scenery for we did scenery for FSX P3D, and he's done a bit for this sim as well. But anyway, he told me about this mod called Random and Anywhere, and I thought, okay, I'll have a look. And damn it, I was hooked, absolutely hooked. I could do this for hours. I could stream this for hours, but I never know just how entertaining it is for people. But it is great fun. It really is. And you can plug in the morning, you can start flying, and you don't know where you're going to end up, you don't know what kind of missions you're going to get. It's great fun, really is. Anyway, right, let's have the head tracking back on. Co-pilot Cat has just come in and looking at me as if to say, who the hell are you talking to? Now that's interesting. With my new setup, because I reinstalled the sim, I used to have the 500 as downloaded, whereas I've still got it streaming, and I just noticed it took a little while for that livery to load in. So that's obviously a streaming thing. Note to myself. Anyway, how are you guys in the chat? It's good to see you. Monday night streaming. Is this what it's about? Seems to be quite a few people around. I'm guessing most of you are into the helicopters. We do have a Discord. I've just noticed that Streamlabs has put a link in there. It is a cracking Discord. It's a Discord's only as good as the community. It's not about me. Really nice bunch of people. We've got a really good helicopter section and a warbird section, because that's where the channel kind of came from, really. And also a general aviation section and just a general chat section. And every now and again we do a group flight and all that kind of thing. So really, really nice bunch of people. Even co-pilot categories. Right, let's have a quick look there. What are we? 3 minutes, so I need to start thinking about things. Just a bit of housekeeping there. Okay. So
ambulance with no paramedic. Police. Confirmed on scene. We will find an ambulance not far away from accident area. They are unable to reach the site.
So that's just the doc giving a bit of an update. Checkers. No, Batavi. Keckers. He's Italian, so you can pronounce it Cheechers or Keckers. Generally, he sort of goes by Keckers. But it's not Cheggers. It's definitely not Cheggers. Yeah, so DLW. I think if Miltech can build something like this so that you can use it in any aircraft, I think that will be quite something. They would open up a whole world, really. Okay, 2 minutes out, so I'm going to take back manual control. Start to lose some height. Looking at the map over on the left, I'm getting a general idea of the kind of terrain we're flying into, and by the looks of it,
I set a possible hospital destination for our patient. Infos are available on tablet. We can confirm or change later.
The cue being that it's a tractor that's gone over in a field, that we are going to be landing in a field. And I've just noticed something. Okay, because I've reinstalled everything, there's one setting that I haven't taken off. And that is, you can see smoke in the distance. That's a flare. I actually generally tend to have that off just to make it a bit
2
more
nautical
realistic.
miles from accident area.
But I'll have a hunt in the settings when we get down and see if I can take that off. Totally forgot about that. I set it off in the dim distance past when I set all this stuff up, and I've never touched it since.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Right, you can shut up.
Terrain ahead.
I can see the terrain. I don't need you mithering me when I'm trying to fly.
500.
So wind is coming from over that direction, over there. So this should be all right. Guardian Smurf, good to see you. So interestingly, the smoke looks like it's... Oh no, I was going to say the smoke looks like it's coming from in the middle of the trees, but it's not.
Rear crew, we are approaching the landing site.
Okay, I'm going to kill the tablet for the moment, just so we've got better vis. Looking at the ground, we've obviously got all the trees. I can also see some pylons, so we need to be wary of those. Tractors just popped in. So we're almost pointing into wind now, so we can maneuver. I'm not going to do a like a circular recce overhead because I can see enough now. Just checking how we're doing over here. Or over the wires. So, looking
We
at
are reasonably
look at
close.
the ground now, we can see we've got a bit of a slope going on here, but it's nothing too bad. Got a ploughed field. So, I'm going to try and land with our skids across the ruts a little bit.
Whoa, nice touch, Captain.
I paid him to say that. Honest. Right, let's engines to idle. Bit like you. Idle. Yeah. Okay.
Rear crew, prepare for ground operations.
So next stage is the there's our farmer. Interesting to see a Highland farmer wearing a high vis. They've obviously
Helicopter in position. Rear Rear crew, you are clear to start
They've
operations.
obviously unsubmerged him now, bless him. Oh, looks like we've got 202 back
Time
up.
for ground operations, please. Stand by.
So they are going to go over and do their thing. They're going to go and have a look, and then what we'll do is, if I quickly get this, that's actually quite a nice, there we go. If I move that over here, and then we'll get the medical diagnostic page, and you can see at the moment, okay, so they've just asked him his name, 21 years, his age rather, his name, what's your name? Oh, mine is 21 years, and I'm male, hello. We have got a an emergency code already, so it's code 2, immediate risk of serious injury. So we have got that. We've also got a life score of 51. So life score meaning 0 is frankly we're not required anymore, and 100 means do not waste the King's Royal Air Force with your tiny little cut that you got when you flipped open your magazine. But they're going to carry on working on the patient, and we'll see some more information coming in. I do want to, just waiting for that to come through. I know that as soon as I flip away from that page, something will change. So we've got a John Doe, fictional, no kidding. Status upon medical arrival, unconscious. They've now got the heart rate monitor on, and they've also got the oxygen saturation monitor on as well. So a bit more information coming through there, which is quite handy to know. And like I said, that will change. Look at that, the Air Force can levitate. That will change as time goes on. It could well be with our chaps working on the patient that the patient will get a little bit better. The patient could get worse. The patient could just remain stable. Who knows? Who knows what fate will throw our way? So the advanced paramedics come back now to get the stretcher. Good luck trying to get it across this ploughed field, mate. Need good suspension. There we go. Let's look at that special Royal Air Force suspension. Not bothered at all by the ruts. That's technology for you. Something I should have said actually, and I didn't do, that I normally do, is I normally look at the page to see the doctor will tell you how long they think they're going to be, and depending on the time that they give you, you may consider closing the helicopter down. But usually we're only talking a few minutes, and frankly there's no point shutting the helicopter down for just a few minutes. Aquatai, how you doing? Hope all is good with you. Come on, get him on. We need
Patient
to...
on board. Take care.
Forester Hill Health Campus. I'm pretty sure that's Aberdeen. Oh, good. It just reminded me. We are using the Epic Full Scottish helipads add-on as well. So that gives
Cabin
us...
secured, ready to fly.
That gives us helipads at the hospitals. Okay, we all on? Yep, good. Okay. Engines to flight. Let's quickly get the VMS page up. Just get the rotating fork to 101. So obstacles, not a lot. Nice big field. There's not a huge amount around. We've got a few helicopters, but otherwise it's pretty good. And the wind is on the nose, so we'll lift, do a quick hover check, and then head straight into wind. So quick hover check, all good. Just remember we were on a slope, so we reversed a little bit there. Okay, over the trees and far away. There's a song in there somewhere, isn't there?
VTOS.
You know what I'm talking about. And it's not blummin' Rickroll either.
VY.
Okay. Dog meandering around the garden in the dark. Aquatite, I envy you. It's been a good number of years since I've had a dog. But there's something quite nice about going out in the dark, especially on a summer's evening. The dog's running around doing its last minute business. The stars are in the sky and all is good. Okay, just keeping a climb in. And then once we're established, I'll pop it onto the autopilot. Sorry, I'm getting carried away looking at things over here. Everyone in the back is about to chunder. What on earth is he doing? There we go. Let's stop fiddling with the buttons and just fly the bloody helicopter. Okay, so we'll lock it off on autopilot couple so that we're flying the course. And what are you doing, Mr. Helicopter? Be careful. There we go. And now I'm just going to advance the speed a little bit, so I'm using the hat switch on my cyclic just to bump that up in tiny increments so it doesn't overdo it. If I was to just say, right, I want to do 100 knots and whack it all the way up there, the helicopter will try and kill itself and me. There, it's trying to there, so you back off. Back off. There we go. Okay, so all is looking good. We've got nothing on the enunciator panel, and our fuel is good, and everything's wonderful in it. So we are now over here. And we are heading to Aberdeen. Down that away. 16 minutes out from the hospital. And this has got quite a nice pad on it actually. It's fairly obvious, not too obscured. There's the pad, there's a hill here and there's buildings here, but it's generally fairly easy to get into there. Right, let's just check that, and I will pop outside and let's get the nameplates on so we can see who's who. Mike Kilo, good to have you along. Badger Collective, excellent name. You guys, you two guys there, you're doing really good formation flying, I have to say. That's quite impressive. You've been there pretty much the whole time. Looking good. I can see Batterby over there in the Mustang. I do love that Mustang. Batterby, you got the Randall Snow mod going there. Let's just try something here. There's Mac to Slew in the B222. Love that helicopter. Definitely a theme tune to that. Hawkwind, nice to see you in the 45. Binky, there you are. And Greysham up there as well. Nice. Little does Aberdeen Hospital know what is about to come their way. It's going to be like Apocalypse Now, but with plasters and bandages and machines that go ping instead of machine guns and things. "15 minutes out." Let's have a quick check on the patient. I'm just going to pop. There we go. So we've got a name now. He's now responsive, and we now know his name is Damon Terry. Damon Terry sounds a little to me like, I mean, look, I don't want to get dramatic, folks, but when we started this, we were talking about exercising, you know, the evil spirits of a Monday. Oh, I don't know. I think Damon Terry might be a candidate for that. I don't know. Anyway, he's still emergency code 2. His patient conditions are now 52. I want to say when we started this he was 50. I might be wrong, but he's gained 2 extra points, which means that he's moving in the right direction, and his heart rate has gone up. His oxygen saturation level, I think, is a little bit better than it was, so that means that he is moving in the right direction. He's thoroughly enjoying his flight on 202 Squadron Airways, and you know, hell, who doesn't like a helicopter flight? Simple. Okay, no, it's brilliant, Batterby. It really is. I love that. I've been spending so much time in that Mustang. It's so nice to have a Mustang that I actually want to fly. Right. Right, I interrupted it then because when it does flyby mode like that, quite often when the camera gets to a certain distance, it disconnects everything in the helicopter, and all of a sudden the helicopter is going into a rather nasty death roll and dive, and I'm not risking that tonight, so I had to prematurely cut the cinematics then. So where are we coming up to now? Yuthan Bank. Yuthan Valley campsite. It's interesting, it looks more Welsh than Scots. But we are 14.9 nautical miles out, 11 minutes. Patient's in a relatively good condition. You all happy in the back? There's our patient, all snug, plugged into the oxygen. Yeah, he's alright. He's alright, isn't he? Hey? Yeah. Just reminded me of something looking back there. Something like a little thing that I quite often forget to do. There we go. Can't really tell, it's too dark, too light rather. Sorry, I'm fiddling with switches and things again, aren't I? So this is, I should say, this is also live weather. It's obviously not live time, but it's live weather. So at the moment we have got a 18 knot headwind, pretty much. Excuse me for yawning, how rude! But it is Monday night. And it is 11 o'clock on a Monday night. Boy, am I glad Monday's over. Come on, hum the theme tune, you know you want to. There it is. It is a beautiful helicopter, the B222. Really is. It's like a flying shark. Fibro, how you doing? Good to see you. Well, I'm pleasantly surprised that everything seems to be working pretty well after having to do that rebuild. That's a bit of a relief. Sickening feeling when you suddenly realise that you've lost everything, all the add-ons that you've got in your community folder, all the test files that I got in there, all gone through my own stupidity. And yes, a lot of people have been saying, oh, you should use add-on linker, and I've downloaded add-on linker. And I will at some point be, doing the magic with everything that's in my community folder, and setting all that up just in case, because that was painful. Seven minutes out. Excuse me, honestly, coughing in your ear. How rude. How rude. I play with some views while we're here. Let's come out of that. Let's go into here. Oh, hello. Big tail. Okay. I've got a custom view as well. We haven't used it, but that is winch view. There we go. There's the winch in your face. And then we can look down as we're hoisting and all that kind of thing. That's pretty cool. That's just something I set up. Six minutes out. Patient condition is still pretty much the same. Pretty much. We can see Aberdeen, the granite city, up ahead of us there. I find doing this kind of thing incredibly relaxing. So apologies if I'm going a little bit quiet, but I find especially flying helicopters very relaxing. Especially the kind of landing and taking off and hover taxiing and all that sort of thing. It's like meditating. Your mind is so focused on flying the helicopter, which obviously we're not doing right now because it's on autopilot, but it really does. It's, yeah, I kind of think of it as being a little bit like that mindfulness thing where you're just in a zone and your breathing changes and all that kind of stuff. I think it's really great. It's a wonderful way to get your head in another place and relax. Four minutes out. I am just going to using the collective beat trim now. I'm just going to adjust our altitude, just bring us down a little bit, down to 1,000 feet. And of course with descending we don't have the same problems that we had with ascending, so we don't need to worry too much about lowering the speed and that kind of thing. We're just going to be fine. Coming nicely to the side of Aberdeen Dice Airport, which is over there. I don't want to mess anyone's flight up by flying around like a complete idiot in their airspace. So that's worked out quite nicely. 3 minutes out. Two minutes out. Okay, I'm going to take back control now, so let's move you there. Trim release on and blip.
2 nautical miles from the hospital.
Start to bleed off a little bit of speed. Just flying to the left of the line so I've got slightly better visibility out of my windows.
$500.
So wind is
Rear crew, we are approaching the landing site.
pretty much on our nose. There's the hospital. You can see the landing pad. So I'm actually going to come straight in from this direction to the left of the buildings, and then we'll just scoot around a little bit once we're lower. If you haven't seen it, the landing pad will become a little bit more obvious as we get closer, so I'm going to kill the tablet just so I've got better vis. Once we've cleared the building, we can scoot over a bit. Hello everybody, eating your horrible hospital roast dinner with very dodgy jelly. Don't worry about us, it's just Royal Air Force doing its thing. See the hospital crew already there.
Rear crew, prepare for ground operations. This was a very good touch.
Yeah, alright, sunshine, don't overdo it. I thought £5 would just get me one compliment. Okay. Engines to idle. Tabletto ouvre, whatever.
Helicopter in position. Rear crew, you are clear to start operations.
So, hospital crew come over with their stretcher to do the handover.
Patient has been deported to the hospital and is safe.
Now what's going to happen now is that he's thinking about it. Our crew, the doctor and usually the paramedic, will go with the hospital team here, go into A&E and do the handover with the doctor in charge, just talk about the condition the patient was found in, what their vital signs are, what drugs they've been given and that sort of thing. There you go, you can see him walking off, still wearing the helmet, full heroic mode as they stride into A&E in their flying suit, while we, the real glamour boys, we're just left here in the cockpit, eh? Actually, what we would do, if we weren't streaming, is you can see that button there that says skip paperwork. They've gone off to do the paperwork. If I wasn't streaming, I'd close the helicopter down now and I would go and make a cup of tea and then come back up and do another mission. But as we're streaming, I'm not going to put you through the full adrenaline ride that is waiting for them to do the paperwork. I'm going to do the skip paperwork to get our chap back, so he gets back on the helicopter. Come on, fella, there he is. And then yeah, we will call it a night, because it is now 17 minutes past 11. I kind of feel like we have exercised some of the evil spirits on a Monday night. I really do feel that.
Cabin secured, ready to fly.
There we go, end mission. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. Love doing this sort of thing. Always great doing it in the company of you who are watching, and also the company of the guys who flew along as well. Thanks for joining. I know you can't see all the mission assets and and all that kind of stuff. But it's almost like a mini group flight, and you never know where you're going to end up. So thank you to you guys for coming along. But anyway, I could well do another stream this week. Might start a little bit earlier as well, so we can get more flying in now that everything is set up where you know, it's all good. Then yeah, we can pack some more into it. But in the meantime, thank you very much for joining. There is the link to the Discord in the chat there if you want to come along and say hello and join a truly great community that I'm very lucky to have. And anyway, Buddy Bows, nice to see you, and look forward to seeing you again on the channel soon. Take care now. Bye bye.